Hey, it's me, Baylor, Ian, Game Master, person. So, I'm running 722, Handmaiden's Gaze, Season 7, Episode 22, for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's Pathfinder Society 2nd Edition. And for those of you who have run it or played it, you may know that it has this thing called Troops. Paizo recently released a book, well, semi recently, called Battle Cry, which talks a lot about these massive battles and whatnot. Got some lore, got some mechanics and whatnot in it. And I haven't really gotten a chance to use any of the new rules until now. I don't have the book, but it's described quite well in the PDF. In fact, there are 6 pages of handouts for just the players talking about all of this stuff, which we'll get into in just a second. But I got some problems with it. So I'm going to get into it. So, what you can see on screen is the current battle that is happening in the game that I'm running. I'm running this play by post, so we're between turns right now. And I'm going to just go ahead and duplicate some things. Oh, Kanya. To express my point. So let's duplicate you. Let's bring you out here. Let's bring you out here. Get you back over here. All right. And all right, that should be enough to do. Well, you know what? I'm gonna duplicate you, Brother Nebulous. Nefarious Nebulous. You're coming with me. All right. So with the troop works, where the old troop rules worked, is you would have a gargantuan creature, which gargantuan is a 4x4, right? And then at a certain threshold with the hit points, when you knocked them down a certain amount, they would go down to a large creature. And then when you knocked them down further still, they would go to a huge creature. Then they would go to a large creature, and then finally into a medium-sized creature. So that's the way the old rules worked. The way the new rules work is you have 4 segments of them, and you've got a leader, and the leader is somewhere in there, but they aren't, but they are. So the way the rules work is the leader exists in all 16 squares simultaneously, but also yes, at the same time. And if that doesn't make any sense, that I agree, it doesn't make any sense. So the way it's written is that this leader, so the troop has their own actions, but I'm not going to talk about those right now. But the leader can attack from any square of these 16 things, which sounds cool. That they can, so he can threaten. This guy actually has a reach weapon. He's got a trident, so he can actually threaten a large space as a result, which sounds pretty cool for a melee person. So he can threaten. Oh, I said purple, dang you. Give me purple. I demand it. Okay. So he can actually threaten this whole area right here. He's got a reach weapon. Of course, if you didn't have a reach weapon, right, then the leader could only threaten this. Table flop, I love you so much. If you didn't have a reach weapon, on, off, on. But it's not green. No, it's not. I want it to be green. Make it green. Make it so. All right. So in the green area, if you didn't have a reach weapon, you're right here. Okay. So from attacking, that sounds really cool, right? And it's also written that because you're everywhere and nowhere at the same time, that you have to decide what square you're in when you make that attack. So let's say I have, 3 actions normal, right? I can say I'm attacking here because Brother Nebulous is over here. And then maybe Brother Nebulous's cousin is over here. So I go here, and then his third cousin twice removed is over here, right? So then I move down here, right? And I attack him, right? Boom, boom, boom. Cool. But what that also means is that me, you over here, his barbarian brother, who is in this square over here, even though the leader's now here, he ended his turn here, the barbarian can hit him from there with his axe, even though he's what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet away with an axe. Not a ranged weapon, but an axe. Because you have to decide where you're at while you're making attacks. But while other people are attacking the troop that your leader's contained within, it doesn't matter where the leader is. They always get hit. Obviously, the leader is the more powerful person in this. And so it would make sense to me that if, let's say, he was here and he decided to run around here and attack the leader, that makes sense to me. He's in reach now. But being over here, he can somehow chop at this guy who ended his, because he's everywhere and nowhere at the same time, right? It doesn't make any sense. And so it's kind of whatever, in my opinion, when it comes to this particular guy, because this guy's a melee guy, this guy's a melee guy, right? But now let's flip it around. Let's say you're a caster instead, someone who doesn't have a lot of hit points, doesn't have high AC, doesn't have a lot of defenses against melee, right? You're trying to stay out of melee. In fact, maybe that's why you have this legion of people to surround you so that you don't get hit by things, other than fireballs, of course. Um, right? So, like we put Brother Nebulous, Nefarious, Nicodemus. I'm going to say your name wrong on purpose this whole time. In the middle, he's going to get hit whether I'm here, I mean, anywhere in this green zone. He cannot hide from me. Cannot hide from me, Brother Nebulous. Anywhere. And so his lower AC, his lower hit points, it's just whatever. And so what happens is that anyone that's not in a troop, so let's say these two are teaming up, right? They're not in a troop. They're not subject to the same rules, right? They can just go over here and just murder this caster no matter what square he's in. And it can completely ignore the troop the whole time, and then just run away if they want to, because they actually kind of can move a little faster. That's the other thing too, because they're a big thing. Now they don't have to be in a square like that. They could be like this, right? So again, if Brother Nebulous is right here and Barachius is over here, I mean he could just. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe here, and do a little bit of this action, maybe a little like this, because they got to be touching 5 feet. That's the other thing; they got to be touching 5 feet of each other. So he could be here, he could be here. He can still hit the leader. Um, Apparently, this is intentional because this is a fantasy game. Which whatever. I understand it's a fantasy game, and it's not real life. I get it, but it doesn't make sense that if I'm back here, if Brother Nebulous is back here casting some badass spell over at the barbarian that's charging his troop, it's cool in a movie for the barbarian to smash his way through the legions and attack the leader. Awesome, right? Love that. Want to watch that on screen. But if you have a game, if you go through the effort of setting this up so that you can be back here, then why does he get to just attack you from 5, 10, 15, you get what I'm saying. That doesn't make any sense. So that's my rant about troops. I don't like it. I mean, I understand the attacking part, but then that gives you the opportunity to be tactical with it, right? So like, let's say I was this guy again, right? And I wanted to come here and strike the barbarian twice, and then I wanted to spend a third action to do what I want with, right, and move him back here because I can, and be tactical with it, then I would do that. At this point, there's no point ever in moving them because why? It makes no difference. They're going to be able to hit you no matter where you are. So going back to this right here, it doesn't matter where this caster is because this caster is subject to anything that I do. Even if I move her all the way back here, she's still subject to these jokers up here attacking these people. So, you know, I was told it's because it's too complicated to position people. I'm like, if I'm at the table, like this is obviously a VTT, but if I'm at the table and I have 16 miniatures on a board, and I just pick up the one and I like have that one different colored or different shaped or whatever, it's really easy to tell which one's the leader. It's not complicated where they're at. So I feel like that's a non-answer. And for tables that are slower or whatever, I don't know. What do you think? What makes this good to run? Because it doesn't apply just to obviously game masters who are running the monsters that you want to kill and you're going to win anyway. This applies to you as the players. If you're in a troop, like why should you as a caster want to be a part of a troop? Totally makes sense for melee. Um, Not for flanking or anything like that though, because you can't flank with your troops. So there's that. You can't do that. You can flank with other troops, but you can't flank with your own troop. So you don't get any of that. You don't get gang up. You don't get, So really, I'm talking about like melee with ranged weapons. That's who this is for. I don't see who else this is for. So tell me what you think. Do you like this? Do you not like this? Why? Because I hate it. I hate it so much. Ah, it's dumb. Bob, I love you. I'll run anything for you. I know you won this, but man, really grinds my gears. All right, rant over. Goodbye.